What is God to me?
What is God to us?
Who is God to you?
These are loaded questions, we know.
And our answers may surprise you.
Yeah. And what we're discussing today might affect you in several different ways.
Yeah, you may agree,
You might be intrigued or amused.
or it may piss you off.
Yeah, that could happen. But whether you are a person who is very comfortable with the word God or someone who questions the very existence of God, we hope you'll stick around because we really want to include you in this conversation.
Yeah. So I'm Stowe Dailey.
And I'm Karen Taylor Good.
Together, we are StoweGood. And we want to just welcome you to our channel, invite you to sit back and relax, and let's delve in.
Let's do. So one of the questions up front was, who is God? What is God to us? Which I find this so interesting that, Stowe, I feel like you started out life way over here. I'm going to call this the kind of traditional Christian religion. And I started out way over here in a more complicated, but mostly what I want people to know is that that my parents were definitely atheists. And so traditional Christian, atheist, and somehow after all these years, kind of separately, really, because we had these beliefs when we, saw each other again 10 years ago and decided to be a duo. We have ended up having very similar beliefs.
It's very interesting.
It really is.
We meet in the middle.
Yeah. So how do you feel about this whole discussion?
Well, I was thinking a little while ago that, they say to have a fulfilling life, you need to do one thing every day that you're afraid to do. I was in there looking in the mirror and I was like, this scares me a little bit. It's like, it's my upbringing, being brought up. Well, I had several different churches that I was part of growing up. In my birth family, I was a part of an Episcopal church, and I found that very dry with a lot of doctrine, and I really couldn't reconcile that it was supposed to be like a God spiritual thing, and then watching the way my father lived, it just like it didn't mesh. It was very confusing to me. And then I was in one family I lived in. I was in some foster families, and one of the families I was in was a Lutheran, and another was Baptist. And so, around the age of 11 or 12 or so, very formative years, I began getting this message that if I messed up, I was going to hell. And I lived with this fear over me for many years, and the idea that I needed to be out on the street, handing out pamphlets about God. It's
really,
yes, it was so scary to me, and it just was like, I can't do that. I can't do it, and so. And then as in my late teenage years, I ended up through one of my girlfriends going to a kind of a holy roller church, and that was very uncomfortable and scary too. And I was in that for a while and felt this fear, like I can't get out of it, and I'm wrong if I leave. And so those kind of things haunted me throughout my life. And then, but I found the older I got, the less I felt. I'm in religion just troubled me. Religion proper,
Organized.
Yeah, organized religion. And I just began searching for God on my own terms. And that's where I really began to feel the love and the connection that I desire. And it's an ongoing process. So,
well, congratulations for speaking about this, even though it scares you.
It's just those old pre-programmed messages from so long ago.
I get it. And, a lot of times entertainers are told, well, you can't post things you can't post political or religious things on your Facebook or, because you have to be neutral. You have to be right down the middle. Otherwise you'll, piss people off. But I don't know. That's one thing I love about this whole new YouTube world.
Yeah.
It feels different, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah.
And
it feels like we can sit down with you and, if you want to watch this, great. If you don't, turn it off. It's like you have that opportunity, but we sure hope you'll stick around.
We do, because, we welcome your comments when it's all over.
Right.
And we can get into some interesting discussions, I'll bet.
Exactly. And it helps us grow.
Yeah.
As humans.
Okay, so in a way, I feel luckier than someone like you who was raised with a lot of preset ideas about what God is and what God is not, and the whole fear thing surrounding it, which is what, we find so many people who are deeply wounded by religion.
Right.
It's, Anyway, so let me take you back. Let me take you way back.
Take
all
us
those
back.
years back. Okay. Now, I'm not sure how much to delve into this. Because I want to be honest. I want everybody to know who I am. My family is Jewish. But if you don't know a lot of Jewish people, I don't want you thinking, oh, so Jewish people must all be atheists. Because that is not true.
That's not true.
No. You have religious Jews who have a very deep connection with God. And then you have secular Jews who don't. My parents were definitely the latter. So my parents did not believe in God. And, on Sunday morning after all the news programs were on, the Meet the Press and the this and the that, which they watched. They were very involved in politics and humanitarian efforts. But the minute it changed over to church on Sunday, whoa, you had to be the first one to go, turn off that TV. Yeah. So how did I end up? I want to tell you, one of the things that I think the first inkling that I had was I had a lot of friends around me who were going to New Thought churches. New Thought being Unity and Centers for Spiritual Living, they're called now. And so somebody dragged me to one day, and oh my God, I was so uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable being in a church. Oh man. But there I was, and I really didn't hear a word that the minister said, because the whole time I was like, I'm in a church.
Right. What would my parents
think? Yeah. And because when you're an atheist, or at least like my parents were, people who believed in God, people who went to church, were ignorant. They were ignorant. They were to be pitied. Kind of like, oh, you poor dear. You poor thing. You believe in God. Yeah. So here I am, just so miserable in this church service, and didn't hear what the minister said. And then everybody stood up. Oh, and they held hands. Oh, I could not wait to get out of there. It was so, and then they sang the peace song. Oh my word. I was more uncomfortable than I've ever been in my life. And then at the very end, they said the prayer of protection, which is something they say at Unity churches at the end of every service. And I hope I can remember it correctly. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I heard this, and it kind of like bypassed all this noise that was going on and judging everything, and went right into my heart. And I got it. What did I get? I got that I wasn't just this soul out here in a scary, really terrifying, like especially in the year 2020, in this scary, scary world and life with nothing, no support, no nothing. I got that that was not true. Now, did I understand what this God was? I didn't picture it as a old man with a white beard. It could have been a rabbi up there in the clouds. I don't know, but that was my first inkling. And the thing I think is so cool that brought you and me together, because then the thing that really got me and proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I began sending these books. I discovered this book called Life After Life. And I began sending these books to my parents because I said, you have got to read this because it's going to prove something amazing to you. Now, I would like you to tell our friends your connection with that book.
Yeah, so back in 1990, I married Peter Shockey, and we were married for almost 25 years. And in the beginning years, Peter was he was so taken with Life After Life, the book by Dr. Raymond Moody. And his dream was to make a documentary about this book. And the book had been out for about 6 or 7 years, and Raymond had never let anybody make a movie about it. Mm-hmm. But Raymond came to town one weekend, and Peter found him, and they came together and made this movie. It's called Life After Life. It was on the Discovery Channel for about 5 years. And for me, this was like a significant event in my life because the people, they have near-death experiences, and several of these ones were dead. One of them for 3 days, and I mean they had like long.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yes, George Red and I was in the morgue for he was put in on Friday night, and I don't think it was until Monday that he came back.
Whoa.
And so the great thing was, I had never heard of this stuff, but these people came to our town to be filmed, and most of them were filmed in our home. And so I had the privilege of kind of serving alongside my husband, my then husband. And
when you say these people,
yeah, the people who had the near-death experience,
the actual people.
Yeah,
okay.
And they were in our home. They came, like George Rednaya was from Russia. There was a lady from South Carolina. There was they were just from all different walks of life, and like one of them had committed suicide, and so. My question at that time, so I was like about 30 years old, and my burning question was, is there hell? It's like, because I'm really concerned, like I'm part of this movie, and, and you all are, talking about all this stuff, and it's like, what's it like? And all of them said that hell was separation from God. That you could be in hell anywhere that you are separated from God on earth or after you pass. But I think the most incredible thing was just hearing what happens when they were pronounced dead. So
So
died.
what happened? What happened?
They died. They all talked about the tunnel. They went to the light, and when they got to the light, they were greeted. I mean, this light was the most incredible, loving being of light being that they had ever encountered. They had never experienced non-judgment, unconditional love. And like the woman who committed suicide, you know, she understood that taking her own life was not hers to take, and she was going to have to go back, that you can't just get out of your pain by taking your life. I mean, her story was, she shot herself in the heart.
Holy cow.
And I don't know how she lived, but anyway, she did. And she changed after that. She had tried to commit suicide a number of times, but that was the first time that she died. And wow, just hanging out with these guys and seeing the life in them
and tell me if this is true.
Yeah.
Please. Because the way I always explained it and the way I explained it to my parents, is it not true that every one of these people, no matter what their religion was, or no matter if they had no religion, so no matter if they believed in God or didn't believe in God, they were all met by this same loving,
exactly,
amazing.
Yes, exactly. Like George Rodinaya was a scientist in Russia, and they don't believe in God, or he didn't, and he didn't believe until after this.
So
that changed. Yeah, that changed my life. That got me to thinking outside of religion. And I'm not condemning religion. I think being in community with people and seeking God is a great thing.
I can't go there with you.
But
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
What I say is, if it's a community that talks about a God, a being of light, who loves every one of his or her children equally, and there's nothing you could possibly do to not be met and loved and surrounded in this beautiful, what's the word I'm looking for? Unconditional love. If that is, and I must say, the New Thought religions, they do it for me. There's probably a lot of other ones. But the ones who say it's their way or the highway.
You're not down with that.
I can't go there. This was the part where, if you would like to get really pissed off at us, you may. You may. It's your right.
Yes, it is.
Or if you want to be amused, like my parents would be going, "Oh, the poor dears." The poor dears. They have have drunk the Kool-Aid.
I remember talking to a woman in Switzerland. I was talking about Life After Life, the movie, and I was talking about God. And she was like, "Oh, honey, you're so naive."
It's the word, too. It's the word God that has such stuff on it. It has,
yes,
it has so much. It's built up. Some people are beat over the head with that word,
right?
Really painfully.
And people do horrible things in the name.
In the name. Yeah. So perhaps it's time to lead into one of our really favorite songs.
Before we do that,
yes,
your description of how we use God in a song.
Oh, yeah. What I want to say to you, I want to challenge you. If you were a songwriter, sweet, lovely viewer, and StoweGood, what do you call our people?
StoweGoes.
StoweGoes. If you were a songwriter and you want to write about big issues, big ideas, are you going to, and it has to fit in a 3-minute song, and it has to rhyme. Are you going to use words like the infinite, unknowable, loving, who knows what it is, force that lives in the end meets us when you're... Or are you going to use the word God?
We choose the word God.
Come on, folks. It rhymes. It's short.
Yeah, so when we came together, and back in 2000, we re-met in 2010. We'd known each other in the early 90s, but when we re-met and we started writing together, this is one of the first songs we wrote, isn't it?
It is. It is. There's a lovely book called Ask and It Is Given that's written by Abraham Hicks. You may want to check it out. And there was something on at the end of this one page just blew us both away. And we could read some of it.
Yeah,
should
let's
we?
read it.
Do you want to read the red and the blue,
Sure.
or just the blue? What do you think?
Let's read it all.
Okay.
Well-being is the basis of this universe. Well-being is the basis of all that is. It flows to you and through you. You have only to allow it, like the air you breathe. You have only to open, relax, and draw it into your being.
Can you understand how much well-being is flowing to you? Do you understand how much orchestration of circumstances and events on your behalf is available to you? Do you understand how adored you are?
Child of mine, my beloved one, darling daughter, special son, you have never been alone. In my heart, you're always home. I'm not sure you understand. I am your greatest fan. Do you know how adored you are? How your precious heart is honored here? Do you know that you are loved and you're enough? Just the way you are. Do you know how adored you are? As a baby you came to earth with secrets of the universe, but you forgot along the way. You are cherished, you are safe. I'm right here in everything you do. Take a breath, I'm breathing. How adored you are, how your precious heart is honored here. Do you know that you are love and you're enough? Just the way you are. Do you know how adored you are? And oh, how you would love yourself, sweet child of mine, if only you could see yourself through my eyes. You would know how adored you are, how your precious heart is honored here. You would know that you are loved and you're enough, just the way you are. It's yours to believe, yours to receive. Do you know how adored you are?
Thank you so much for being with us. And if you're new to our channel, we invite you to subscribe. Look for the little red thing that says subscribe.
Yeah, and please hit the like button. It's a little thumbs up, and share us with your friends.
Yeah, and leave us a comment too. So we have all kinds of music on this channel, but we'd love to lead you to some of our other God songs.
Right here.
Bye.
Thanks. See you next time.
Bye-bye.